Dear sisters, life will not always treat you gently. People will not always speak sweetly. Circumstances will not always bend in your favor. If you choose softness in the wrong places, the world will shape you, break you, and use you. But if you choose strength rooted in God's wisdom, the world cannot shake you. The question is, will you remain a soft woman who bends to every storm? Or will you become a strong woman who stands like a mountain with God as her foundation? My dear friends, women are not weak creations. God did not design you to be fragile glass that breaks at the smallest touch. He designed you with the strength of the earth, with the patience of the oceans, and with the power of fire. But society often teaches women to be soft in the wrong ways. Soft in saying yes when they should say no, soft in tolerating disrespect, soft in sacrificing their dreams for others who don't value them. Stopping this softness doesn't mean becoming harsh or cruel. It means becoming spiritually strong, mentally unshakable, and emotionally balanced. It means living with self-respect, guided by God's strength within you. Today, I will share with you 7 ways to stop being a soft woman, so you can rise with dignity, grace, and unbreakable inner power. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. You look at yourself, but instead of seeing only your face, you begin to notice all the thoughts that run through your mind. Some days those thoughts say, "I'm not enough." Other days, they whisper, "If only I was more beautiful, more talented, more loved, more recognized." And quietly, you carry that weight, allowing the world to make you believe that your worth depends on what others think of you. But the truth is, no one on this planet has the authority to define your value. Your worth is not written in the opinions of society, not measured by the numbers in your bank account, and not sealed by the approval of family or friends. Your worth is divine because you were created by God with intention and care. The problem arises when women, brilliant, powerful, compassionate women, forget this truth. They soften their spirit to the point where they start believing that validation from others is the oxygen of their existence. They wait for compliments to feel beautiful. They wait for applause to feel capable. They wait for acceptance to feel worthy. And when the world denies them these things, they begin to crumble. That is where the cycle of weakness begins. Not because you are weak, but because you have forgotten your true identity. Think of the sun. Every morning it rises, not asking the earth, "Will you allow me to shine today?" It shines because that is its very nature. Even on cloudy days when no one can see its brilliance, the sun does not doubt its power. Similarly, you do not need the recognition of others to know your light. You were born with a radiance gifted by God, and it does not dim just because someone else fails to notice it. In daily life, we often see women compromising their worth in subtle ways. A young girl might silence her opinions in class because she fears judgment. A mother might sacrifice every part of herself for her family, yet receive no gratitude, and quietly convince herself that this is all she deserves. A working woman might take insults from her boss because she thinks that's the price she must pay to keep her job. Each of these situations may seem ordinary, but they are not. They are silent battles of self-worth. And in every battle, when you forget your value, you lose a piece of your strength. To stop being soft, you must first reclaim your worth. This doesn't mean arrogance or pride. It means standing in the truth that God Himself created you with precision. Every feature of your body, every spark of your mind, every fiber of your soul was designed with purpose. Just as a diamond's worth is not determined by the seller's opinion, but by its very nature, Your worth does not decrease when others fail to see it. When you know your worth, your choices begin to transform. You no longer chase relationships that disrespect you, because you realize that love without respect is not love at all. You no longer sacrifice your dreams just to be accepted, because you recognize that your calling comes from God, not from people. You no longer drown in insecurity when someone outshines you, because you understand that your path is unique and your blessings are written with your name, not theirs. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you are holding 1,000 rupee note. If someone crumples it, throws it on the ground, and steps on it, does it lose its value? No, it remains 1,000 rupees. In the same way, even if life crushes you, even if people disrespect you, even if the world ignores your efforts, your worth in God's eyes never decreases. That realization is what transforms you from being soft to being unshakable. When you walk into a room, knowing your value, your energy shifts. People feel it. You no longer beg for attention, your confidence commands it. You no longer bend under pressure, your spirit stands tall. And even when you are silent, your presence speaks louder than words. That is the beauty of a woman who knows her worth. She doesn't need to prove it, she simply embodies it. But here is the deeper truth: knowing your worth is not a one-time realization, it is a daily practice. Every morning when you wake up, the world will try to tell you otherwise. Advertisements will tell you that you need to look a certain way to be beautiful. Social media will convince you that your life is not enough compared to others. People around you may try to manipulate you into thinking you are less so they can feel more. This is where you must ground yourself in the wisdom of God, reminding yourself, I am valuable, not because of what I do or what I own, but because of who I am, a soul created with divine purpose. So, the next time you doubt yourself, remember this: your worth was never in question. It was only forgotten. The world might label you, judge you, or misunderstand you, but that doesn't define you. Your Creator has already defined you as strong, capable, radiant, and unbreakable. Do not let the noise of the world silence that truth. Stand firm, because when you embrace your worth, you stop being a soft woman shaped by the world, and you become a strong woman shaped by God. There is a quiet power in the word no. Yet for so many women, that small word feels heavier than a mountain. It feels like rejection, like disobedience, like selfishness. From childhood, many women are trained to believe that saying yes makes them good, kind, and lovable, while saying no makes them cold, rude, or heartless. But this conditioning creates a life of silent suffering. A woman who cannot say no becomes like a tree with no roots. She bends in every direction that the world demands, never standing firm in her own ground. To stop being soft, you must learn to honor your boundaries and say no without guilt. Why is it so hard to say no? Because deep inside, many women fear losing love, approval, or belonging. They fear being misunderstood, judged, or abandoned. So they stretch themselves too thin, giving time, energy, and heart to people who do not value them. They attend events they don't want to attend. They accept favors that burden them. They agree to responsibilities that drain them. And with each forced yes, they lose a little more peace, a little more energy, a little more of themselves. But here is the truth: every yes that is not genuine is a betrayal of the self. Every time you say yes, when your heart says no, you plant a seed of resentment inside you. That resentment grows slowly, poisoning your spirit, making you feel unappreciated, unseen, and exhausted. And when you feel this way, you do not serve anyone, Not your family, not your friends, not your work, and not even yourself. Imagine a woman named Ayesha. She works all day at her job, and when she comes home, her relatives demand her time, her neighbors ask for favors, and her children need her attention. Instead of resting or taking a moment to breathe, she says yes to every request. She cooks for a gathering she doesn't want to host. She lends money she cannot afford. She listens to gossip she doesn't believe in. Days pass and she begins to feel invisible. Her smile fades, her health declines, her spirit grows weaker. Why? Because her life is filled with obligations she never truly chose. Now imagine Ayesha learning to say no. At first, people may be surprised. Some may even call her selfish. But slowly, she begins to reclaim her strength. She says no to gossip because it poisons her mind. She says no to unnecessary tasks that drain her energy. She says no to relationships that only take but never give. And suddenly, she has time to rest, to grow, to nurture her passions, and to serve where it truly matters. Instead of giving pieces of herself to everyone, she learns to give her best self to the right people and the right causes. That is the power of no. Saying no does not make you unkind. In fact, it makes you more genuine. When your yes becomes selective, it becomes meaningful. People learn to value your agreement because it is real, not forced. Think about it. What is worth more, 100 empty promises or one sincere commitment? The answer is clear. In daily life, the inability to say no shows up in subtle ways. Someone asks you to take on extra work at the office, even though you are already overloaded, and you say yes out of fear. A friend invites you to an event you have no energy for, but you go anyway just to avoid disappointment. A relative demands a favor you cannot afford, but you complain to avoid conflict. Each time you lose a piece of your peace. But when you gather the courage to say, "I'm sorry, I can't," you protect your energy, your time, and your heart. Saying no without guilt requires a shift in perspective. You must understand that your time is sacred, your energy is limited, and your life is precious. God did not send you here to waste your soul on things that drain you. He sent you here to serve a purpose, to grow, to shine, to uplift. And you cannot fulfill that purpose if you are constantly bending to every request and expectation. Think of a candle. If one candle tries to light every other candle without protecting its own flame, it will burn out quickly and be left with nothing. But if it guards its fire wisely, it can light many others without destroying itself. In the same way, your no is the protection of your flame. It ensures that you do not burn out before your time, that you preserve your light so it can continue to shine brightly for those who truly need it. Of course, saying no is not always easy. At first, guilt will creep in. You may feel like you are letting others down. But remind yourself you are not responsible for carrying the entire world on your shoulders. You are responsible for living with balance, dignity, and peace. When you honor yourself, you are not being selfish, you are being wise. Because when your cup is full, you can pour generously into others. But when your cup is empty, every yes becomes a burden rather than a blessing. So, practice it in small steps. The next time someone asks you for something that feels heavy, pause before answering. Ask yourself, is this aligned with my values? Do I truly want to give my time or energy here? Will this serve my purpose or drain me? If the answer is no, then speak your truth kindly but firmly. You will notice that the world does not collapse when you decline. In fact, it adjusts. People learn to respect your boundaries, and you learn to respect yourself. Remember, A strong woman does not live to please the world. She lives to fulfill her higher calling. She understands that every no to the wrong thing is a yes to the right thing, a yes to peace, to growth, to self-respect, and to God's purpose. And once you master this art, you will stop being a soft woman who bends under pressure, and you will become a strong woman who stands tall, unshakable, and free. There is a silent trap many women fall into without even realizing it, the endless cycle of pleasing others. From the moment you wake up, you begin to think about what others want, what others expect, and how others will feel. You adjust your words to avoid offending someone. You change your choices to avoid disappointing someone. You compromise your dreams to make someone else comfortable. And slowly, without noticing, you begin to live not your own life, but a version of life that others have written for you. This is the hidden prison of pleasing, and it is one of the biggest reasons why so many women remain soft in the sense that they bend, break, and shrink themselves just to fit into the molds that society, family, or culture create for them. But ask yourself, when you constantly please others, are you truly living? Or are you simply surviving as a shadow of what you could become? Life is too precious to be lived only for approval. God did not put you on this earth so you could spend your days endlessly adjusting yourself for everyone else. He put you here to walk a path that is uniquely yours, to fulfill a purpose that only you can fulfill, and to shine with the light He has placed within you. That light dims every time you abandon your truth to satisfy someone else's expectations. Think about it in daily examples. A woman who always says yes to family demands, even when she is exhausted, begins to resent those very people she loves. A woman who always tries to make her boss happy, even if it means sacrificing her health or peace, eventually burns out and loses passion for her work. A young girl who changes her dreams just to win her parents' approval grows up carrying silent regret in her heart. Each of these women smiles on the outside, but on the inside, they carry a heavy emptiness. This is the cost of living to please others. The truth is, no matter how much you try, you can never please everyone. If you wear red, someone will say blue suits you better. If you speak loudly, someone will say you should be quieter. If you follow your dream, someone will say you are being selfish. And if you sacrifice your dream, someone else will say you lack courage. The world is full of opinions, and if you build your life on them, you will always feel restless and incomplete. But when you decide to stop pleasing and start living, you free yourself from this endless cycle. You begin to walk with clarity, strength, and peace. Imagine a woman who loves painting, but has been told all her life that it is a waste of time. Instead of listening, she decides to follow her passion. She paints every day, she shares her art with the world, and she finds joy in expressing her soul. At first, people criticize her choice, but soon her happiness becomes undeniable, and even those who doubted her begin to admire her courage. This is what happens when you choose living over pleasing. You not only inspire yourself, but also silently give permission to others to follow their truth. Living for yourself does not mean being selfish. It means being authentic. It means respecting your time, your energy, and your inner voice. When you choose to live authentically, you create a life of honesty instead of performance. People may not always agree with you, but they will respect you. They may not always understand you, but they will know that your yes is real and your no is firm. And in this way, you begin to attract relationships and opportunities that match your true self, not a false version built to please. Think of a tree. A tree does not twist itself into unnatural shapes just to make people happy. It grows upward, rooted in its truth, reaching toward the sky. Along the way, it gives shade, fruits, and beauty, but all from a place of being fully itself. A woman who stops pleasing and starts living becomes like that tree, grounded, strong, generous, and full of life. She no longer bends for every wind of opinion, but stands tall, offering her gifts to the world in her unique way. To stop pleasing, you must also learn to silence the inner critic, the voice inside that says, "What will people think? What if they don't like me? What if they leave me?" Remember, if people only stay with you because you are constantly pleasing them, then their presence is not love. It is dependency. True love, true friendship, true respect will never demand that you erase yourself. It will honor who you are, even when you make choices that are different. In daily practice, begin by noticing when you are about to say or do something just to gain approval. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this what I truly want? Is this aligned with my values? Will this bring me peace? If the answer is no, then have the courage to choose differently. It will feel uncomfortable at first because your habit of pleasing is old and familiar, but slowly the discomfort will fade and a new power will rise within you. The power of living your truth. When you stop pleasing and start living, something magical happens. You begin to feel lighter. You begin to feel more confident. You begin to attract people who value you for who you are, not for what you do to keep them comfortable. And most importantly, you begin to walk closer to your purpose, the very reason God created you. Remember this, your life is your sacred journey, not a performance for others. Pleasing may bring you temporary acceptance, but living authentically will bring you lasting fulfillment. The world does not need another woman who bends under pressure. It needs women who rise with strength, guided by truth, fueled by faith, and unafraid to be themselves. So stop pleasing, start living, and let your life become a testimony of courage, freedom, and divine strength. There is a sacred force within you that keeps you alive, inspired, and strong. That force is your energy. It is invisible, yet it shapes everything about you. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your words, even the way people feel when you walk into a room. Some women protect this energy like a priceless treasure, while others give it away carelessly, leaving themselves drained, tired, and powerless. If you want to stop being soft, you must learn to guard your energy with wisdom, because it is the foundation of your strength. Every day, you wake up with a certain amount of energy, like money deposited into your account. How you spend it determines the quality of your day. But what happens to most women is that they allow anyone and anything to withdraw from their account without limit. They give attention to gossip. They engage in unnecessary arguments. They entertain people who constantly complain, and they invest time in relationships that only take but never give back. By the time the day ends, their account is empty, and they are left exhausted, resentful, and broken. This is not because they are weak, but because they have not learned the art of protecting their energy. Look around you in daily life, and you will see this everywhere. A woman sits down to rest after a long day, but her phone buzzes with messages full of negativity, and she instantly loses her peace. Another woman spends her time trying to fix everyone else's problems, only to feel unappreciated and invisible. A third woman spends hours scrolling through social media, comparing herself to others, and by the end of it, she feels empty and insecure. These are not small things. They are silent thieves that rob her of the energy she needs to live with joy and strength. Protecting your energy does not mean becoming selfish or cutting yourself off from the world. It means being wise about what you allow into your heart and mind. Just as you would not let someone throw garbage into your home, you should not allow negativity, gossip, or toxic influences to enter your inner world. Your mind is your sacred home, and it must remain clean, peaceful, and focused on growth. Imagine you are carrying a clay pot filled with water. Every step you take, the water spills if the pot has cracks. If you never repair the cracks, one day the pot will be empty, no matter how much water you pour into it. In the same way, if you do not guard your energy, you will keep losing it, no matter how much you rest, no matter how much you try to recharge. Protecting your energy is about closing those cracks, cutting off toxic conversations, setting boundaries with draining people, and refusing to carry burdens that are not yours to carry. One of the most powerful ways to protect your energy is to say no to unnecessary drama. How often do we waste hours thinking about what someone said, replaying conversations, or holding grudges? Each of these things consumes energy that could be used for your growth, your peace, or your happiness. When you let go of drama and focus on what truly matters, you conserve your energy for the things that uplift you and bring you closer to your purpose. Another way is to choose your circle wisely. The people around you are like mirrors. They reflect your energy back to you. If you surround yourself with complainers, you will begin to complain. If you surround yourself with dreamers, you will begin to dream bigger. If you surround yourself with people who drain you, you will always feel empty. But if you surround yourself with people who inspire you, uplift you, and remind you of your strength, your energy will flourish. Protecting your energy also means protecting your time. Time and energy are deeply connected. When you waste one, you lose the other. Many women give hours of their day to things that do not serve them. Endless phone calls, meaningless scrolling, tasks that others could handle. But when you value your time, you automatically protect your energy. Each hour becomes a seed, and when you plant it wisely, it grows into peace, joy, and fulfillment. Let me share an example. Imagine a woman who always says yes to her friends' complaints. Every day, her friend calls her to dump negativity about her job, her family, her struggles. Out of kindness, the woman listens patiently, but slowly she begins to absorb the negativity herself. She feels heavy, anxious, and restless, even though nothing in her own life has gone wrong. This is what happens when you allow others to pour their chaos into your spirit. Now imagine that same woman kindly but firmly limits her time with that friend, encourages her to seek solutions, and chooses not to absorb every complaint. Suddenly, her energy is lighter, her spirit is calmer, and she has more space to focus on her own growth. That is the difference a boundary can make. Remember, your energy is the fuel for your entire life. When it is drained, even the simplest tasks feel impossible. But when it is strong, even challenges feel manageable. You laugh more easily, you forgive more quickly, you dream more boldly. This is why protecting your energy is not just about survival, it is about thriving. It is about living with balance, with clarity, and with strength. Do not let guilt stop you from protecting yourself. Many women feel guilty when they set boundaries or step away from draining situations. But ask yourself, how can you pour into others if you are constantly empty? How can you give love, care, and support when you are running on exhaustion? Protecting your energy is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of wisdom. It ensures that when you give from a place of fullness, not from a place of depletion. So, guard your energy as you would guard a treasure chest. Be mindful of who and what you give it to. Fill your life with things that inspire you: nature, prayer, learning, meaningful conversations, acts of kindness. And remember, you cannot control how others behave, but you can always control what you allow into your space. When your energy is protected, your spirit shines brighter, your mind becomes clearer, and your heart grows stronger. That is when you stop being a soft woman drained by the world, and you become a strong woman fueled by God's strength, radiant, powerful, and unstoppable.